Hey everyone, Harold Fisher here again, anchor and host of the Daily Drum on WHUR. Welcome to yet another edition of HUR at Home on WHUR.com and all of our social media platforms. Tonight, we are talking to Angie Reese Hawkins. She is the CEO at the YMCA of Metropolitan Washington. And I just want our viewers to know that if you have a comment or you have a question, you can just go to our Facebook page or to any of our other social media platforms and just type it right in. And if you have a question or comment, I'll definitely ask it. But how you doing?
I'm great. How about you?
Well, under the circumstances, I'm doing okay. I don't have any complaints. But let's talk a little bit about the YMCA and how the organization, first of all, has had to adjust, like all of us have had to adjust during the pandemic.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you, Harold, for this opportunity to chat with you this evening. I really appreciate it. And if I can, I must give a shout out to you, Renee Nash, Jackie Gales-Webb, and Bobby Gales, because you all have been such wonderful, wonderful partners for the YMCA for so many years. It's been a challenge. I think it's been a challenge for everybody in the country to get adjusted to the way life has changed seemingly overnight. And so what we have really tried to do as one of the largest, oldest charitable institutions serving the community is just to understand the fact that, as I always say, our buildings may house us, but they really don't define us. So when our buildings closed, we just decided that we would put all of our energy and all of our focus on where the greatest needs were going to be in the community. And so I'm proud to say that we have served over 100,000 pounds of food to people in our communities. I'm proud to say that we have done emergency childcare for first responders and essential workers. We have distributed over 2,800 masks for people who really need them and didn't have access to masks. We've partnered with the Red Cross, and we've done over 346 blood bank opportunities, which probably saves about 1,000 lives. So we've just, I wouldn't say pivoted because we're a charitable institution, but we've just focused even more specifically on what we thought the needs were during this time. And so we've done kudos to the team that I work with. We've just done a marvelous job, I think, of just really helping people in our community. And we've been doing it for a long time.
One of the things that I find really interesting, I'm playing back in my head all of those things that you just listed. And it seems like that was a year ago. It just seems so far in the past where we were doing so much talking about making sure that families didn't go hungry, making sure that first responders had those resources and those supplies that perhaps may not have been provided for them by the agencies or organizations that they worked for. But literally, that was just a month or two ago.
Yeah, and it's funny, in my spare time, I consider myself to be a short story writer. And so I'm writing this short story about 60 days that broke the country. Broken hearts, broken spirits, broken promises, broken dreams. And so to your point, we could see a lot of that firsthand and up close when we closed our doors. Our Ys give access to over 250,000 people in the region. We have 17 different locations, and we provide transformational services, as we like to see it or call it, for youth, improving the quality of health of the community, which is so needed right now, as well as social responsibility, which is all of our social services programs. And so it has given me some insight in the fact that we are truly living to the spirit of our forefathers who founded the Y, because even though our buildings may be dark or closed, we're still out there in front of closed buildings, serving people and taking care of people. Now, 3 About 3 weeks ago, I'd say in the last 2.5 weeks, we've opened our facilities because all of our legislative leaders, all of our leaders have said, look, it's time to open. We're going to phase two, phase one, phase two, phase three, some of them now. So we opened our facilities. And we put in a Herculean effort to have what I consider to be a cautious opening because we wanted to do every single thing we could to mitigate the opportunity or the chance that there would be any disease spread. And I have to tell you, that's an exhaustive undertaking, but we did it. We did a lot of research, a lot of homework, spent a lot of time talking to a lot of other WHURs in the country who opened before us. You know, what are the things you've learned from that experience? A lot of science. I have to say, we're really fortunate in that we have a very intelligent, purpose-driven, dedicated group of team members of my staff that work with us on these kind of things. And let me tell you, there's a major undertaking at every Y to make sure it's clean, sanitize. I mean, we have UV lighting, which is nature's disinfectant. We have different shifts of cleaning. We have directional signs in, directional signs out. We do health screening at the front door. We ask the 5 questions that the CDC asks you to ask. We do thermometer checks. We have different monitors who help guide you through the directional process so we can practice social distancing. Harold, this is a new day in a whole different way of serving people. We like to connect. We're huggers. You know, we like to talk to people. This is very different for us. We're all wearing masks, you know, and we ask the people who enter our facilities wear masks. It's very different. It's very challenging. But I will say this, the donors and the members have been very supportive. And so we've been very, very fortunate to have a lot of members who have stayed with us, trust in us, believe in us, and are proud of the work that we're doing.
This is the beginning of the summer, and that's a really important time for the YMCA, not just for children, but for seniors and everyone in between. What has been the response from people as you are coming back into the buildings? Are they concerned? Are they nervous? How would you describe?
I think they're both. I think it's bittersweet. I think on the one hand, people really miss their health routines, their workouts, their exercises. You know, these are all things that help you stay mentally and physically healthy, right? I think they miss it. Their routine has been disrupted significantly. So many people who walk through the front door after they get through that initial health screening and their first test and they walk in, they have been really supportive. They have been really positive about all the work we've done so they can practice social distancing, so they can, you know, basically go through their workout and meet the guidelines. So they've been very happy. But you always will have a few that are sort of cautious and, you know, just taking their time and making sure that everything is where it should be and how it should be. Not so much for the swimmers. Our swimmers are happy that we're open. Chlorinated water is a dream come true, right? So the swimmers are really, really heavy utilization with the swimmers. So now it's summer, as you said before, I'm getting a lot of calls about summer activities for our young people. I think parents have been in the house a very long time and they would like a little bit of a break, or they would like to go back to work even. So we're getting a lot of calls about what are you doing for summer? What are you doing for summer? So we have about 10 locations that we're going to offer summer programs. We're going to practice social distancing in those programs. We're going to make sure that we do everything we can to keep everything clean and separate. We've got a whole strategy about how the kids will be in different groups that'll stay in the same groups the entire time. They'll practice airplanes so they can keep the distance apart from each other. You know, so we put a lot of mechanisms and a lot of practices and policies and procedures in place to do as much as we can to create a safe environment. So we encourage everybody that's interested in any of the summer activities to go to www.ymcadc.org.
YMCADC.org.
Yes, www.ymcadc.org. And they can.
I have a question. Linda Johnson Blake just chimed in. She said, can anyone volunteer to help with community services And if so, how can she sign up?
She should also go to our site, www.ymcadc.org. We actually have something that we created called Virtual Volunteers. So even if you don't want to leave home, there are ways in which you can volunteer with the Y. We have, for example, we make probably about 300 plus calls a day to seniors that are home, afraid to leave their homes at this point because they're in that group that COVID targets. And so they're in isolation. So to make sure that they have someone that they can reach out to, that they can communicate with, let them know that they're cared for, find out what they need. So we make all those calls. We need people to help us make some of those calls. We need people to help us with a lot of different things that we do in the community still in terms of teletherapy and help. So you can go to our website. There's something there called Virtual Volunteers and sign up.
Let's talk a little bit about virtual activities for children whose parents may not be ready for them to come out. Do you have any activities for the young people?
Absolutely. We have something called Online Classroom. So you can actually go to our website and sign up for an online classroom. There'll be plenty of activities where kids can learn, they can grow. They actually have some play activities as well. So we've thought that through. In fact, I didn't mention it earlier, but we have a very significant virtual base of support. We realized once again that was a way to meet people where they are. It reaches all the way to Australia. Harold, we actually got people calling us from Australia saying, this is the best online exercise class I've ever taken. So we have, yes, from Australia. And they actually sent us photos because they wanted us to know how much they appreciate it. So, so our seniors who were taking classes at the Y every day, keeping them rejuvenated and feeling great and helping their spirits as well as their physicality. They have said to us, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I'm watching my favorite instructor online and I'm still taking classes. So we have virtual classes.
We're getting to do some kangaroo jumps and some koala bear climbs.
Exactly. That's a true testament right there that you're getting, and we have a few from England too as well. So yeah, there's a virtual universe in our website if you go there and just like I said earlier, www.ymcadc.org. Absolutely.
Everybody needs to work out these fish and chips that they've been
there's one day camp I think you would appreciate knowing about. We have a 209-acre peninsula that sits on the Rhodes River that goes into the Chesapeake Bay. It's the most beautiful, pristine, green site you've ever seen. You never want to leave there. In fact, I'll invite you. You got to come down and just sit in one of the rocking chairs and watch the sunset. We're actually going to have day camp there. So outdoor day camp. Lots of environmental opportunities for kids to learn, to grow, to play, and have plenty of space to do that, plenty of social distancing.
That sounds wonderful. And I'm sure that not just the young people, but parents would enjoy that as well. And Daphne, we just had another question for Daphne. It's ymcadc.org. ymcadc.org. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did. You did. Just think of the Village People song, YMCA DC.
Well, that is wonderful, and I'm so glad to see that you are faring well, and this organization, like so many others that we have an opportunity to talk to, are able to weather the storm, because we are still in it, and it is so important that the organizations do well, but the people who support it, from the leadership all the way down, are able to weather the storm so that we can continue to inform and help people. And I like the telephone therapy, because seniors really need support as well.
They do. And listen, a shout out to my mom. She turned 89 on Sunday.
Woo!
She's a big HUR fan. So, we have to say, happy birthday belated to her.
Absolutely.
And the son-in-law.
That is a blessing.
Yes.
Without a doubt. That is truly a blessing. Well, certainly congratulations. Congratulations to her. That is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And look, we're out of time, but I just wanted to thank you, Angie Ruth Hawkins, CEO at the YMCA of Metropolitan Washington. Please continue to do the work that you're doing. Please stay safe as we continue to move through this process. And man, 89.
Yes.
Look, my parents, like I always say, my parents are alive and kicking, just not kicking quite as high, but they're still doing it.
I know. I hear you. Well, Harold, also, I want to thank the board of directors because the Y could not thrive and do what it does every single day without a caring, supportive, resourceful group of people that help me do this work that means so much to me.
Well, thank you again so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Angie Reese Hawkins with the YMCA of Metropolitan Washington. And please continue to be safe.
Thank you. You too. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's it for this edition of HUR at Home. I'm Harold Fisher. I'll see you next Tuesday. And until then, I will see you all later.